Okay, so this is an interesting topic that I wanted to speak about because it's kind of relevant to the kind of businesses that I run, and also just something I've seen on Twitter and things of that nature. So, um, in the e-commerce space, and I'm going to sort of try and relate it back to just broader business, and use the example of information businesses and the marketing you often see on Twitter. But the style of marketing in your business is going to determine the LTV and customer quality, right? So, a lot of people think that um, LTV is all about product. Um, it's not all about product. The way you bring a customer in and the kind of marketing that they come in will also play a big role in determining the LTV. So there's two parts of it, right? It's how does your marketing make the customer feel? And the second part is what are you promising the customer? So let's kind of just break down each part of that. The first part is stuff like what is your marketing making people feel? Now, I've got a personal experience with this because we basically scaled up a brand in the pain relief niche, right? So we sold neck pain relief products, pillows, um, back pain relief products, things of that nature. And our best marketing in terms of most profitable on the front end would be marketing that most often actually made customers feel bad, right? So we sort of uncovered an angle for a neck pain relief product that focused in on the kind of a neck hump on someone's neck, like and the neck hump looking really unesthetic. And a lot of people have seen this ad and seen the kind of ad, so they'll kind of know what I'm talking about. Now that was really profitable on the front end. This VSL that we wrote kind of focused in on that pain point, but the issue with that was it made the customer feel really bad. And if you think of some of the flow on effects of that, every time the customer thinks, of your brand, you're going to be reminded, of that like icky taste in their mouth, all that bad feeling, because often you sort of made them feel, the emotion that you made them feel to then purchase the product was sort of a low level emotion. The other thing it's going to do, you're going to attract low vibrational frequency people. And often what happens is when you attract low vibrational frequency people, is it's often people who are pretty down bad, who probably aren't, don't have the best circumstances in life or have shit going on or whatever else. And a lot of the time when you're using sort of like, I won't call this shame marketing because it wasn't really, but when you're sort of highlighting negative points, to try and, you know, trigger an emotion to then get people to buy something, um, a lot of the time people aren't then going to share that to their friends. So you're missing out on word of mouth. Whereas if I compare that to a business I used to work for, which is the Audi is like a weighted, no, sorry, not a weighted. It's sort of like a big oversized hoodie. It has fun prints on it. Their marketing was very feel good, right? Wasn't about feeling bad and then trying to remove that emotion. It was very much sort of like feel good marketing. And the word of mouth that that brand got was insane. Basically, anyone that bought it would then tell their friend about it. So that created that like virality where over time you're able to spend less and less and less on Facebook because the more people that have your product are almost become your advocates. So you attract low vibrational frequency people. That means, more customer service headaches. Doesn't matter so much in B2B, sorry, B2C, because you can hire for that. In B2B, that becomes an issue, right? More customer service headaches, no word of mouth. These people don't tell their friends about, you know, their problem, um, and very little LTV, because people associate your brand with bad feelings. They don't exactly like it. Can be profitable on the front end, but to go really, really, really big, um, it's probably best to either steer away from this marketing eventually. It can work really well when you're starting a business to cash flow it, or you want to mix in this style of marketing with other feel good marketing. It's still direct response, still trying to sell. You're just not putting people through the ringer before they buy the product. So um, that's one question. The other part of that, which I was speaking about at the start of the video, is expectations. What are you promising? Um, so a good example of this is, anyone's ever been to a restaurant, a really high-end restaurant, where you're going in and you're expecting a lot. You're paying a shit ton. You're expecting a lot, and the food was decent, the service was decent, but it was a 6 or a 7 out of 10, but you're expecting 9 out of 10. Your expectations were here, and your expectations weren't met. Whereas there are other times where you could go to a really, you might go to a pub, or you might go to quite a cheap restaurant. Your expectations are pretty low. The food's really good, big servings, the service was with a smile. You had a great time. The environment was sick. Maybe it was a 7 out of 10 experience. You're expecting a 4. You're going to go back to that place again and again and again and again because your expectations have been exceeded. So it's kind of it's a classic thing of human psychology. If you're expecting a 9 and you get a 7, you're going to be dissatisfied. Um, and if you're expecting a 4 and you get a 7, you're going to be extremely satisfied. It's kind of like if you've ever seen Dan Bilzerian speak on podcasts. His life now, his norm is now, supercars, really attractive women, parties, whatever. For him, that's just a standard day. He barely feels a thing, right? And he's quoted as saying that. It's because his expectations of life now are so high. Whereas if you pulled a kid out of a Bangladeshi village and plonked him on a yacht with Dan Bilzerian with weed and hot girls and Steve Aoki on the decks, you could probably believe that he would have a good time. So the other part of your marketing is, what are you promising? Are you over promising to get the deal, or are you managing expectations? Because as soon as you manage expectations, and maybe you sacrifice a little bit on the front end, meaning you're not acquiring customers as cheaply, or if you're in B2B, you're not closing as many deals, but it means you're not going to have to go out and sell and sell and sell every month, because the deals you do close, or if you're in B2C, the customers you do get are going to come and stay with you for life. And again, that was an issue we had with our pain relief business. We had very, very little LTV. Why did we have little LTV? Because we overpromised. We promised the world to these customers. Now, that's not to say we were scamming them or doing anything, untoward or anything like that. We would just had very aggressive advertising, advertising that made the customer feel bad, long form, really direct response VSLs, and then VSLs where we promised a lot, right? And we had a few satisfied customers, but satisfied wasn't going to cut it because of how much we were promising, right? So you have to realize there that anytime you don't meet expectations, you aren't going to get a repeat customer. That means each month you're going to have to go and sell and sell and sell. And this kind of, why I'm making this video is for business owners who might fall into one of these two buckets, where maybe you're improving service delivery. Maybe if you're a B2C, you're cutting down on shipping time. Maybe you've got really nice packaging. Maybe you've improved product quality, done all these things, but your LTV is not going up and you're still dealing with annoying customers. Could be another part of the business that you're not looking at, which is how you're actually bringing a customer in. What are you promising them?